Dr. Ice, you can start.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thanks for joining us for another edition of the Region 10 Horizons, which is our flagship event to bring you all together a variety of different topics. And today we bring before you two excellent speakers on the topic of membership and their journey as IEEE members and highlighting their achievements through their journey with IEEE. I'm Aishwarya Bandla and I chair the Region 10 Young Professionals Committee. And it's my pleasure to be introducing the moderator for today, who will then welcome and introduce our speaker. Our moderator for the day will be Dr. Supavadi Aramvit, who is the chair of the Region 10 Membership Development Committee. Over to you, Dr. Supavadi.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, so today we have around 1 hour. So I would like to start with the video message from our Region 10 Director, Professor Thakor Hashimoto. So let me share her video.
Pleasure and honor to welcome you all to today's. Hello, everyone. Warm greetings from Japan. I am Thakor Hashimoto, IEEE Region 10 Director 2025 and 2026. It's a great pleasure and honor to welcome you all to today's Region 10 Horizon webinar, Membership Inspiration Session. First of all, I'd like to thank our amazing membership development team for leading this initiative, bringing together students, young professionals, and senior leaders from across our vast Region 10. Region 10, as many of you know, is the largest in IEEE, with around 200,000 members across 28 countries areas in Asia Pacific. That means we have a tremendous responsibility and opportunity to inspire, nurture, and elevate one another through this global network. The goal of this webinar is very close to my heart, to show how real IEEE journeys starting from student branches can lead to incredible career growth, deep friendships, and global impact. Today, we are privileged to hear from two outstanding IEEE fellows. Professor Nitish Thakor, a globally respected figure in biomedical engineering and neural engineering. Dr. Shoko Araki, she is my friend and pioneer in speech signal processing and AI-based sound separation technologies. Both of them started their IEEE journey with curiosity, commitment, and love of learning. I hope their stories will show you that success is not just about technical excellence, but also about building connections, giving back to the community, and staying resilient through challenges. In my own case, IEEE has changed my life. It has given me opportunities to grow from an industrial engineer to a professor to now director of this incredible region. I've met brilliant people, worked on cutting-edge projects, and contributed to advancing technology for humanity. To all students and young professionals here, please remember you are the future of IEEE. Your voice matters. Your actions matter. Get involved. Start small. Keep showing up. And you'll find mentors, friends, and opportunities that will last our lifetime. Let today be your spark of inspiration. And remember that the journey ahead is full of possibilities. Once again, thank you to all the organizers, speakers, and especially you, the participants, for being here. Enjoy the session, and I look forward to seeing your names, your achievements, and your leadership in the IEEE journey ahead. Thank you so much, and take care. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. The video message from our Region 10 director. And I think that today's session would be very valuable. Yeah, as we will see all of the real journey, okay, from the student, okay, until IEEE fellows of our two extraordinary speaker. So first, I would like to introduce our first speaker, Dr. Shoko Araki. So, Dr. Shoko Araki is a senior research scientist of NTT Communication Science Laboratory, NTT Corporation, Japan, where she is currently the head of the Media Information Laboratory and also the leader of the Signal Processing Research Group. Since joining NTT in the year 2000, she has been engaged in the research on acoustic signal processing, microphone array signal processing, blind speech separation, meeting diarization, and auditory scene analysis. She was a former member of the IEEE Signal Processing Audio and Acoustic Signal Processing Technical Committee from 2014 to 2019, and she was a chair in 2023 and 24, and currently serves as a past chair. She was a board member of the Acoustic Society of Japan from 2017 to 2020, and she served as a vice president there on 21 to 22. She is an IEEE fellow. Now I would like to welcome Dr. Shoko Araki to share her journeys with us. Dr. Shoko, please.
Oh, thank you so much for your kind introduction. So now let me share my screen with you. Presenter. Does it work for you?
Yes.
Yes. So I like to close this window now. Oh, can I see my screen? Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so thank you so much for your kind introduction, Spabari Sensei. So hello everyone. Thank you for joining this presentation today. I'm very honored to be invited to this webinar. I'm Shoko Araki from NTT Japan. Today I'd like to talk about my journey with IEEE. My story today is just one example of a possible career path, but I hope it will be helpful and inspirational for you. So, okay, let me begin. So I'm Shoko Araki from NTT. Since joining an NTT is formerly a Teflon company. Since I joined in NTT in 2000, I have been working at NTT Communication Science Laboratories. And at IEEE, currently, I am serving as a past chair of the IEEE Signal Processing Society, Audio and Acoustic Signal Processing Technical Committee, ASPTC, and I am also the vice chair of IEEE SPS Kansai chapter. And my area of expertise is the speech and audio signal processing. This is the contents of my talk. I'd like to start by sharing my very first activities within IEEE, and then I will introduce my experiences in academic activities and professional service activities. My first IEEE activity. When I was a student, I had only presented at a domestic conference in Japan during my master's program, but I had no experience presenting at international conferences. And in 2000, I joined NTT and I was assigned to a basic research laboratory. There, I was expected to work on fundamental research in speech and audio signal processing and to develop my expertise in this field. And in the summer of my first year at NTT, I got some initial results. Then my supervisor strongly encouraged me to submit my work to the flagship IEEE conference for the acoustic community. Around the same time, a related workshop happened to be held in the right next door to my office building. So my supervisor also encouraged me to submit there. So for me, these two became my first international conferences. My very first international conference was the workshop next door. So I walked from my office to attend my first international workshop. At the time, the workshop was not an IEEE workshop, but now it is technically co-sponsored by IEEE. And my very first IEEE activity was presenting at ICASP, the flagship conference for the acoustic community. I still clearly remember how exciting and inspiring it was to present my work directly to leading researchers, reading international researchers, and to have discussions with them at these two conferences. These experiences were incredibly motivating for me and really shaped my career path I've taken since then. And since then, my main international conference has been ICASP for the past quarter century. In this table, the stars shows the years when I presented at ICASP as the first author, and the next row shows the number of presentations I co-authored. Since first attending ICASP in 2001, I presented at ICASP every year, ICASP every year until I eventually moved to the planning section of our laboratory. When I became a group leader, I made sure to encourage my team members to submit and present at ICASP too, so they could experience the same excitement I did. Of course, sometimes I also attend international conferences, other international conferences, both IEEE conferences and non-IEEE conferences. But for the past 25 years, I have joined ICASP almost every year, and I have had great opportunities to discuss with key people in my field and researchers of my generation. I also have I also have my home conference in Japan. My main domestic conference is the Acoustical Society of Japan. In the table, I also marked with a star the years when I presented more than once a year. So domestic conferences are also a wonderful opportunity to discuss your research and find friends and collaborators. Unfortunately, I have been working in acoustic signal processing for 25 years, and almost all my presentations at ICASP have been related to the technical aspects of my IEEE Fellow promotion. The research topic for which I received my IEEE Fellow is blind source separation of noisy and reverberant speech signals. Please allow me to briefly explain this topic using only this slide. The blind source separation is a technique that reconstructs the individual source signals from one or more mixtures recordings of them. Here, blind means that this method does not require any prior knowledge about the source signals and mixing conditions. That is, this is a kind of unsupervised approach. When we record the sound signals in the real conditions like this, there are many noise and reverberation as well in the recorded signal. My contribution included the analysis of independent component analysis-based blind source separation approaches from microphone array point of view and enabled blind source separation in reverberant environments. My contribution also includes the application of blind source separation approach to meeting conversation scenarios where multiple speakers may speak simultaneously. Currently, I'm still working on scenarios like meeting or small dinner parties. And in the future, I would like to tackle more complex scenarios like poster session and cocktail parties. Okay, now here's my first takeaway from these experiences. Actually, IEEE hosts many international conferences, workshops, and networking events. So I believe you can find your main conference within IEEE as your home base. Such a conferences offer you many opportunities to discuss your research topics with key researchers. You may also find potential collaborators for your future joint research. Moreover, by showing up every year, key researchers start to recognize you and remember your work. So this can open exciting opportunities for you to contribute, get involved, and even play a role in shaping a future of the IEEE and related communities. I believe that having a home-based conference is a great way to enjoyably build your career and networks. In fact, through the networks and experiences I built at IEEE international conferences, I have been fortunate to receive various opportunities within IEEE and related societies. This slide shows a summary of my IEEE services, including both technical and networking roles. The underlined parts shows that I was elected by board. And in this slide, I also added non-IEEE activities in black. In the first 10 years of my career, I had several opportunities to join organizing committees of related international conferences. This is partly because my supervisor was active in IEEE community. And I also participated in organizing the organized international technical challenges, where I created evaluation datasets and evaluated participants' submissions. So these activities helped me build stronger connections with key researchers in the community. Looking back, I now realize that these were very important roles with great responsibility. However, at that time, I simply enjoyed being involved in workshop events and evaluation campaigns. So I remember that I just engaged in these roles with enjoyment and earnest dedication. And after around 15 years into my career, this part, I began to serve as more important roles. For example, I served as a program chair for workshops, which is a really important role since it shapes the quality of each workshop. More recently, I have joined the technical committee activities to contribute to the growth and sustainability of our research community. So the tasks of technical committee include the handling the ICASP review process, award nominations, and considering ways to make our technical committee more accessible and inclusive for young researchers from emerging countries, and those from other research fields. In such roles, you can work with talented, highly motivated, and dedicated people all over the world. All the team members are so kind. It's both an honor and incredibly inspiring, and it constantly reminds you that you can keep growing at any age. And in addition to these technical activities, I am also involved in activities of the IEEE Women in Engineering, WIE. Perhaps some of you may not be familiar with WIE, so let me put the IEEE homepage here. So the mission of the IEEE Women in Engineering is connecting, supporting, and inspiring females worldwide and facilitating their recruitment and retention in STEM fields. So in my region, the Kansai area of Japan, on this part, yellow part, we established a WIE affinity group in 2014. So since then, the IEEE Kansai WE has contributed as a networking platform for women in STEM and for everyone supporting their careers. So I have served as a vice chair and the chair of the IEEE Kansai WIE. and we are providing opportunities to mingle with women engineers, researchers, and their supporters and role models. And we also provide chances to think the career up of women engineers and researchers. And one most important activity for us is the annual symposium. This photo is from our first kickoff symposium, and we held this year's symposium last Saturday. Usually, the symposium features 3 technical and career-related lectures from female speakers, followed by group discussions. I found the main appeal of this symposium is that it allows you to meet people from a wide range of research fields, not just from your own specialty field. In fact, most of the people I've worked with WIE are not from the audio field, and I was able to meet them thanks to WIE. In fact, I met Hashimoto sensei and Spabari sensei through my WIE activities. So on several occasions, they kindly offered welcoming remarks at the Kansai WIE symposium, and I was also fortunate to hear their lectures from Hashimoto sensei and Spabari sensei. So I was very grateful for their continuous support to IEEE Kansai WIE. So here is the second takeaways. So getting involved in professional services and activities is also a great way to build your career and networks. Working with talented, well-motivated, and dedicated people fosters your growth, career, and network. And I would say both technical communities and networking groups offer great opportunities to learn and grow for you. When you participate in such activities, you don't need to feel pressured at all. Just engage and commit in your roles with enjoyment and earnest dedication. Enjoying yourself is the most important thing. And a large part of my career, professional network, and many of the honors listed here have been possible thanks to IEEE and the wonderful people I've met through the IEEE activities. I sincerely thank everyone who has been involved in my journey. So to the younger people in today's audience, I hope you will actively use IEEE to advance your own careers and networks. Okay, now here are my today's takeaways. First, I strongly recommend finding your main conference as your home base in your field. Once you've chosen it, try to attend regularly. It's the best way to make friends and build a great career and network with the key researchers. And I also recommend getting involved in professional activities to foster your career and networks. When you are involved in such activities, enjoyment and dedication are important. I hope everyone will build your career and network enjoyably. So thank you for your attention.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Shoko. I think it's very inspiring, and to see that how you get involved with the signal processing, and then also and also your contribution also earn you IEEE fellow. Yeah. Okay. So thank you. We will come back on the Q&A questions. Yeah.
Okay, thanks
So
so
now
much.
I would like to Thank you. Now I would like to introduce our second speaker, Professor Nitish Thakor.
It's okay, but I know
Okay, so Professor Nitish is a professor of biomedical engineering at Johns Hopkins University. His technical expertise is in the field of medical instrument and neuroengineering, where he has carried out research on many technologies for brain monitoring, implantable neurotechnologies, neuroprosthetics, and brain-machine interface. He has published over 450 referee journals and with H-index 104 obtained 16 US and international patents, and co-founded 3 active companies. He received a Research Career Development Award from NIH and a Presidential Young Investigator Award from the NSF, and is a Fellow of AIMBE, Life Fellow of IEEE, BMES, and IAMBE. He is a recipient of a Distinguished Alumnus Award from Indian Institute of Technology and a Centennial Medal from the University of Wisconsin School of Engineering. He was elected to the National Academy of Inventors in 2021. So it's our pleasure to invite Professor Nitish to share his experience and his journey today. So now I'm sharing the screen. Professor Nitish, I think this is your first slide, right?
Yes, it is. And you will have to use that because you're operating. So keep hitting return when I tell you. Okay, so I just want to, first of all, congratulate Dr. Akai. Wonderful presentation. Please slow down, please. She gave an incredible presentation about her professional journey. I'm going to do somewhat something different, a life journey, right? Because many people in the maybe young students or young professionals, so not just IEEE, but your overall journey, how this happens. Now, very important to understand, IEEE is an international society. It's not American society only, although I am right now in USA. And all of you are in other regions, and you are all welcome in IEEE society. So let me share now my journey, right? I was a student in India and I did my undergraduate. Actually, my very first introduction to IEEE was that I went to a library there and read IEEE Transactions of Biomedical Engineering, which described how to make an electrocardiogram device. So when I said, oh, that is biomedical engineering, and I can build an electrocardiogram device. How should I study that? That author of the paper, Professor John Webster, was in US, in University of Wisconsin. So that brought me to US. Next slide. So it was IEEE paper. Later in my professional journey, please slow down. Please slow down. No, you're one by one, please. Yeah.
Okay.
So, then as I said, life is a journey where in my case, after many years in US, I also led a institute, neurotechnology institute called Synapse in Singapore. And went back and forth, but which means it's global, right? And I have traveled in Japan, Singapore, Taiwan, Australia, New Zealand, Europe, US, everywhere. And I'm now back in US, right? So our journey continues, but my IEEE membership, what I do for IEEE continues. Okay, next slide, please. Yeah, so just keep, please hit return. Yes, so my education, as I said, is Indian Institute of Technology, Bombay. And at that time, this is 69, 74, so I didn't know about membership. Anyone can become a member. Student membership is actually very cheap. So please start with becoming a member, because then you will get IEEE Spectrum. You can get some IEEE magazine for young people. And then, of course, you will get information about conferences and all that you heard before. Okay, next, please. I went to then do graduate study, like I said, by reading this paper, it motivated me to become a biomedical engineer. And so Professor Webster, who has written textbook on medical instrumentation, I did my PhD with him. And that is the time where I submitted my first journal paper. And I'll describe that later. But that means my entry to the society became, and I felt really good. I felt very honored by getting my paper published in that journal. Next, please. After doing that, I became a professor at Johns Hopkins University. And during that period, you start building your career in academia, write research papers, advise students, get research grants, develop many different projects. But during that period, it's very important to now participate in conference, as you heard in the previous talk, because that is how you network. You got a very good advice that the best thing you can do is to create that connection with other people in your field. So as a professor, then I started to go to some conferences. And next, please. Next. Yeah, and now my career is evolving internationally, but during these conferences, I now started to become presenter. Then I organized a session. My first chance was after finishing a PhD, I said, everybody should learn about microprocessors and which was new technology then, and electrocardiogram. And so I went to this conference and organized my session. I was afraid. I was a student. I mean, and I was just becoming an assistant professor. IEEE welcomed me. Not a problem. This is really important. Don't be shy or afraid. Volunteer. You will see that message that you can just volunteer and participate. But as I, of course, became senior, I got more opportunity to be a presenter, conference chair, many other things. And that's how you grow in, at least in academia. This is very important because that is your part of your professional career. If you're in industry, it's part of your network because you build connection with other professionals. Next slide, please. Okay, so I'm a professor, so my association at IEEE is through these journals. As I said, my very first paper was in IEEE Transactions on Biomedical Engineering. In those days, if I got one IEEE paper, even in 1 year, that was amazing. And if even one good paper could be important for a master's or a PhD thesis. So IEEE Transactions Biomedical Engineering is one of the about 200 journals. So, you can be now publishing in many journals, and there are many, many societies. Later, as my seniority became high, I became member, senior member, fellow, etc. But also I became editor. So I became editor of IEEE Transaction on Neural System Rehabilitation Engineering. So those of you who are doing PhD, postdoc, junior professors, this is important. People from industry sometimes are also, but they also more importantly take part in conferences. Okay, next, please. Yeah, sorry, keep going. There's some problem with animation. Yeah, so the path is like this. One more. Okay. Yeah, so this is my path, right? I became a student member, then I became a member, then I became a senior member, I became a fellow, and now I'm a life fellow, which means it's like you have to be a member for like 30 years, I think, and of course you have to be a fellow and many other factors. So, this is how your journey evolves. Just become a student member. It's very economical. Even if you're a junior member, they give you some discount. Then, of course, senior member is after some professional experience. After you've been in the professional field for 5-10 years, you have some accomplishments. Of course, for PhDs, it's papers, but for industry people, some product technology, patents. Becoming a fellow is very challenging. It is only 2% of the members are allowed to be a fellow. And at least 6 fellows have to nominate you. And so they want very high level of accomplishments by some very important contributions you made. But of course, it can also include professional, where if you're a conference chair, society chair, that's also important. And life fellow is from seniority. Okay, next, please. Next, please. Yeah. So how I did this is that I wrote a first paper, then I started to go to conferences, and I got a best paper type award. So it took me to a conference. Then the editor, based on my papers, invited me to become an associate editor. I was like, whoa, that is very good. And I helped review papers. Next, please. And then after many, many years, almost 2 decades of that kind of a service, that kind of an experience, some reputation, I applied, also was nominated to become an editor-in-chief. Next, please. Yeah, and of course, during that period and later throughout, you rise in your professional leadership. So academics can think of being an editor as important. People in other professional worlds may think becoming conference chair is important for their development. You can get elected to be vice president, president, secretary, many ways to be in rise in professional societies. Next, please. Yeah, and you know, it's like there is some recognition. Next, please. Yeah, and next. So somewhere everyone builds up some record, right? As a academic, my record is like Student Paper Award and participation in conferences. As an academic, I published many, many papers, you know, and eventually maybe I have now about 500 journal papers and hundreds of conference papers. That kind of thing, being an editor, gave a career award. All of this is IEEE, right? So IEEE takes you through this journey, and you can see people like us as role models to see that. Okay, so I hope everyone is encouraged that take part in this journey with IEEE. Next, please. I just want to take very briefly, what did I do that brought this possibility, right? As a student, I worked on a heart monitor. That was my undergraduate project, and I got a job in industry. Next, please. For my graduate study, that time the microprocessors were new. You know, IEEE is the computer society as well, right? So you get exposed to the latest technology. So I worked with microprocessors that can be used to monitor your heart, which is still competitive. Next, please. And then I came to Johns Hopkins to work on implantable device like a pacemaker, defibrillator, and publish many papers. Next slide, please. Next. Then next. So I then also, no, please slow. Please go back. Don't go so fast. Okay, so then I went to Singapore and developed a brain technology there because it's a Singapore Institute for Neurotechnology. And in the last 10 years, now I focus on working on prosthetics, but also involved in doing a startup, this company, Infinite Biomedical Technology. So I have multiple roles during this period of being a professor, entrepreneur, and very important, a mentor and an advisor. Again, my IEEE journey is student member, then a member, senior member, and a fellow. I mean, you can go from left to right and you can see how you can grow. Next, please. Next also. So, you know, now just this is my research field. It's not important today to know about a lot of the research, but it is amazing that as an electrical engineer, I am now doing hacking of the nervous system. You know, I'm developing electronic technologies for the brain, for the spine, for the nerves, and developing these sort of connections using electrical input, output, signals, controls, everything that electrical engineers do. And so I'm very proud to be an electrical engineer who is contributing to medicine. Okay, next, please. So what are the lessons I learned? Well, as an undergraduate, your job is to learn, right? Learn anything, all the knowledge you get. And you learn that through reading journals like IEEE Transaction Biomedical Engineering. Next. Now, when you graduate study, you have become very cutting edge technology like microprocessor for me, but today it might be AI or it could be and many other topics, machine learning, controls, lasers, human machine interaction, brain, prosthetics, many topics, right? So IEEE makes you current, aware of the cutting edge technology, especially if you go to conferences. Next slide. Next. Then as a professor, you involved in discovery. You are involved in discovery where you've identified new things and you write papers or patents. But as you grow later in life, you also realize that, okay, I've written many papers and so on. Can I do translation? And that's why Singapore Neurotechnology and now my work, next please, is very focused on developing this translation so that we can make an impact. Okay, so as an IEEE member, you learn by reading the journals. As an IEEE active member, you do that by attending conference. If you then grow and you're become more senior, you are leaders here in conferences or in journals. And then later on, you focus on your impact. Of course, anytime in your life, you should have impact. But the impact will be in sense of how do you translate and share your knowledge to now junior members, right? So you see how lessons learned are applicable to all of us. Next, please. I don't know if we have time, but you can, if you are able to play this video, if not, that's okay. Is this one without video or video? Is it play? No, okay, sorry. So because I had some difficulty with presentation, so I had to send a short presentation. Otherwise, I had a video about this, but we will skip that. So next one, please. Okay, so my advice to all of you is to maintain that curiosity, right? That curiosity means, what am I interested in? But how do I know, right? So IEEE Spectrum is a magazine that members get. And I think students get another magazine that is career specific. And very recent IEEE Spectrum, I will describe to you one of the members, Aishwarya Bandla, her career and her service award was recognized, right? So you learn in IEEE Spectrum some cutting edge topic, but you can also learn about service to society and how, of course, you get career development and recognition. Okay, next, please. Then I think I would advise that continue to innovate. In IEEE, your innovation can be recognized through papers. Of course, you can get awards, technical achievement award and things like that. To become a senior member, if you have patents or you have developed products, that can be recognized. Or of course, if you're in academia, your papers can be recognized. So that is all innovation. Next slide, please. Then, as our previous speaker said, it's really important to develop professionalism. Being a member of a society, you become very professional. You come to the society, you interact, you take part, you give speeches, you become a member of some committees that you heard before. So this not only develops professionalism, it improves your communication skills, because you need to not be shy. Don't worry about language. We are a global society. Start improving your communication. I encourage get out of your country, but that is what I learned more in Singapore, right? In Singapore, it's a small country, so you go everywhere. And US, there are many regions and of course, many international meetings. So learn communication and networking. Next slide. Next. Then at all stage, make an impact, right? You need to be able to convey through your presentation, through the committee. You can lead a committee. You can form a committee in a topic you're interested in. So now if I'm interested in neuro, then there is a committee for neural engineering. If I'm interested in prosthetics, there's a committee on rehabilitation engineering. I was a chair of a conference we held in Singapore, IEEE Conference of Biorobotics. So we organized this conference. A lot of my students and postdoctoral fellows like Aishwarya and others helped organize that meeting. Incredible experience to everyone. And then about 300 people came from all over Asia mainly, but from Australia and even Europe as well. So make an impact by doing that. But then last thing is what we are doing today, providing mentoring, right? Because giving that advice is very valuable when people are young and junior. But it doesn't only mean that I give advice. Young people need to ask questions. They need to ask for help. In my experiences, I was too shy. I wasn't confident to ask for help. But when I did, everyone gave me advice. And that was very valuable. So this is your journey. Obviously, IEEE is a professional society. This your middle part, that professionalism and communication is very important. But you can be part of it as somebody junior or part of it as a very senior person giving mentoring. Next, please. So I want to now give an example of lessons learned from a student point of view. So next slide. And I was only able to include one image, but this is Aishwarya Bandla. I'm sorry her photograph is not did not come because of that. But if you see the right side, she's receiving in that right side left corner, she's receiving an award. So what I'm saying is that what did Aishwarya as a student do, right? Her first job was as a volunteer. And in our society activities or in our Synapse Institute activities, she was a very good member. She was a volunteer. Later, when we organized a conference, she and a bunch of young people were conference members. They are on the stage. That is the middle photograph. See, young people can get recognition. They can get participate. We gave student awards, everything. But then on the right side, you can see that you can start organizing things yourself. I mean, you can get recognition for your not just volunteering and leadership. Now, what she has done is actually quite exceptional because you can only do it locally in your university or company. You can do that in your own region, but you can reach out globally. Again, previous speaker mentioned about Society of Women's Engineering. That is, if it's her passion, that's fantastic. For Aishwarya, it is to promote young professionals. So then she has engaged in so many activities to support the young professional. And that for that, this year, she received an award from IEEE for her activities of young professional mentoring and service. And if you get IEEE Spectrum, you can read that full article. Okay, so you can see that it's possible. Whether you are now when I look like a senior professor or somebody like Aishwarya who is a young professional. I'm sorry, I don't have the other slide, but her journey came from a student in India to a graduate student in Singapore to develop as a professional at the university and the medical school. She did some novel work on cancer therapy by using some cooling technology. And then now she has a global leadership position in a company that they collaborated with. So your journey goes from, being student to a professional to now a volunteer and mentor. So next slide, please. Yeah.
Professor, it's time.
Yeah, so this is my last slide. I think what we can become is that let's all become a role model. You can go to the next, please. Yeah, my last slide is just this: be a volunteer, be a leader, make an impact. And that's all. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, I think we are very impressed with all of your journey. And yeah, so I think student and young professional can all learn from your lessons. Yeah. Okay, so now I think it's time for the Q&A question. I think maybe we first have the question from the audience. Let me check. Nia, can you?
Yes, we have a question from
Yeah.
audience. One questions.
Okay. I need to.
Can you see?
Yes. So yeah, the name is Dr. Mukul Kumar. Okay. He said he just complete my PhD from National Taiwan University, and he worked at the postdoctoral researcher he would like to join academia. So could you please give me suggestion or share experience how he can grow quickly to become the senior IEEE member from the current IEEE member? And also the fellow, but I think that would be the long story, but you could give the short just suggestion. Yeah.
Maybe Dr. Akai, do you want to say how to grow?
To become an IEEE senior member, I think you need a total of at least how many years? Maybe 10 years? Or
Five, I think.
5 years? Experience in IEEE related
Yeah.
fields. So this means to be an IEEE senior member, you should. So please try to stay engaged in research and development activities in IEEE related field. So yeah.
So I put it in the chat, but so IEEE senior member
Mhm.
is not difficult to get. It is more a matter of professional development, right? So
Yeah,
whether you're professional develop, and IEEE, whether it's senior member or a fellow, both track industry and university, or industry meaning even entrepreneurship, are acceptable, unlike many other societies. So therefore, you have to describe your professionalism, right? Publications, patents, product that you develop that is now has a commercial impact or clinical or medical or those kind of impact. And if you have about, it depends on your speed of your development and stature. You are a vice, you are a director of research in 5 years in your company, maybe then you can become senior member, but usually about 8-10 years. IEEE fellow is only 2% of the society members are fellows, right? So that means it's very difficult in that way. And I think it takes 20-30 years to reach that point where they look for the word extraordinary accomplishment, but which means you did something incredible, such as build a brain machine interface or such. But usually most people can come with, I have 200 research papers, I have 20 or 50 patents, or I started 2 companies, or in IEEE, I became a vice president and a president of a society. You can show that leadership activity, entrepreneurship activity, those things. Say, oh, this person is extraordinary. They are doing very high intellectual or professional contribution. Okay.
Okay, yeah, thank you. And I think I will have one question because we have now limited time. Yeah. So
I think it's fine. Maybe two more questions. Third.
okay. So let's see. How did we motivate students to continue their membership? I think that's also yeah.
Yeah, as Dr. Akai said, just become a student. And I said, become a student member. It's cheap and it's easy and you get so much benefit. And then go to your regional conference, wherever you are. It's very easy to attend and start networking and start becoming friendly to people and make friends and find mentors, like what Aishwarya did. Volunteer. So that was my last slide. Volunteer, then step up to be a leader, and then like what we are doing, become advisor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think so. I think maybe one last question from the audience. Yeah. So I am an electronics engineer pursuing PhD, but in machine learning domain. Pursuing research in digital twin in healthcare would be a good choice. Would that be novel enough to file patent? I believe that come under biomedical engineering, maybe to Professor Nitish.
Look, this is a very specific question, and audience can be general. It doesn't really matter. And many fields are exciting. Some fields are very popular. Sometimes AI, word like digital twin. You should follow your passion. IEEE is a 400,000 members and 200 journals and hundreds of societies. it's only, not only AI and digital twin, So follow your passion and make an impact. If you have a novel idea, you can get a patent. I mean, it's patent is a novelty. It just doesn't mean in digital twin. It can be in any topic. Biomedical engineering is one field. Dr. Akai mentioned about signal processing. There are controlled society, computer society. So follow your passion and follow your education and make an impact.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So I think, Dr. Nia, I think we can conclude the session. Yeah. So now I would like to invite Dr. Nia, who is the Region 10 Vice Chair in Professional Development or Professional Activities. Yeah, to say the concluding remarks and then also the word of thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Prof. Supavadi. So before saying a concluding remark and closings, I would like to share, yeah, let me see, yeah, a plaque, appreciation plaque for Professor Nitish Thakor. Thank you. And also Dr. Shoko Araki. Thank you. And Professor Supavadi for the moderatings. Thank you. So my name is Kunia Ningsi. I'm a Region 10 Vice Chair of Professional Activities. So good evening, everyone. So on behalf of IEEE Region 10, it is my great pleasure to deliver the closing remark for this Inspiring Horizons webinar, Membership Inspiration Sessions. Again, sincerely thank to our distinguished speakers. Both of them are IEEE Fellow, Professor Nitish Thakor and Dr. Shoko Araki, for sharing such valuable experiences and perspective. So your journey clearly illustrates how patience, perseverance, and active engagements in IEEE can open doors to leadership, innovations, and global impact. Of course, we want to follow your path. I also wish to extend my appreciations to Professor Takako Hashimoto, our Region 10 Director, for her warm welcome remarks and her support, and also to our wonderful moderators, Professor Pavadi Aramfit and Dr. Aishwarya Abanla, for guiding today's sessions smoothly and engagedly. We have so many participants today and receive many questions. So I think this session has showed us that IEEE is not only a professional home, but also a platform for growth, collaborations, and recognitions at the international stage. I hope all participants today feel encouraged to take an active role, whether you are students or young professionals or senior members, in contributing to the IEEE missions of advancing technology for humanity. So thank you once again for joining us today. So we look forward to seeing you again in our future Horizon sessions and other Region 10 activities. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Miss Carillo. Oh,
Okay, so can we leave? Okay.
yes, yes.
Okay, well,
Okay.
goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice to meet
Thank you,
Dr.
Prof.
Araki
Niti.
and all of
Yeah,
you.
Yeah,
nice
thank
meeting
you,
you.
Dr. Cho. Yeah,
Nice
thank
meeting
you.
you.
Thank you,
Yeah,
everyone. Yeah.
thank you so much for inviting me today. So have a good day. Have a good day.
Okay. Yes.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.